Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Annie and Kaylin. Hello, hello. Kaylin, your hair is looking terrific. I love what they just did.
Thank
Um,
you.
so going to wind into winter, everyone. And I wanted first to say, this morning I decided to continue winding into winter. I went to a color class conducted by a color chemist who is from the Netherlands.
Oh,
And I found, and he works for a company where the colors are made as ours are in Italy. And I was able, Annie, you and I talk about this a lot. The more we go to other classes and the more we continue to learn, the more it just keeps us broad. And I needed to go to a class. So I was so happy. And I'm thinking, winding into winter, and these companies are talking about trend and being bold and doing very beautiful fashion things to color. And at the same, oh my goodness, hang on just a second. And at the same time, we have a look at our regular clients who might be in for a regular color, a shaping, a retouch. But it's time because, before we know it, it'll be Thanksgiving, it'll be Christmas, it'll be Hanukkah. There will be parties, there will be people whose kids are in school and festivities. So beefing people up a little right now, not just doing it right between Christmas and Thanksgiving, but starting their mind toward a new mindset toward winter. And that means toward a new year. So getting their mind in the salon started toward something we might not do today, but something we might start bringing up is where we are. Because the summer's over, and yes, many people have been back, and we've done a little correction because their hair was faded. And we've talked in our last webinars about, or Zooms about, inspiring and starting to talk about new things. I find that now is the time. This is a critical time, bringing up in January, they're going to be paying bills and they're going to be sad. In February, they're still going to be sad, paying bills. It's going to be cold in a lot of places, and it's up to us to keep the power up and keep them from being bored. But getting them ready and making them feel that you feel there's an excitement in the air. I hope a lot of you know that Halloween's coming up, and maybe you have a real pumpkin on the desk of your salon, and maybe you have the little trick or treat bowl with little candies for the clients so that they get the feeling that you're in the spirit of things. Interestingly, not just looking at hair and hair color, I was following something that I think all of us could profit from right now. And this was sort of discussed at a class that I just did in Annapolis, Maryland, which was just wonderful. We had a wonderful group of people there. And it's talking about the salon approach and how people come to a salon, especially the weather's changing. Maybe it's tough to get the kids to school, or after work, they Zoom in, they need to feel good. My dear friend Maria Fontana has done a survey that had nothing to do with the level of service we're doing in the salon right now. It had nothing to do with color or cut. But they asked women who did not come to salons anymore, why do you not go to salons? And here was the three biggest answers. Number one, I didn't feel welcome. I felt that when they took me in, it was, oh, hi, okay, you're Susan's 1 o'clock, sit down over there. There was no feeling, and some of them felt like uncomfortable, like, do I really belong here? Do they like me? Do they not like me? There was no real greeting. Number two, they felt that when they got to meet their colorist or their stylist, that the appointment was a rush. They got an RJ, a rush job. That meant that a decision was made very fast, an application, and then a second part of this part two, Annie, they were left alone too long. Unescorted.
huh.
So, sometimes you put the color on and immediately there's another person waiting for you. So even if it's a first time person, you can't just walk away and go, okay, I'm going to be back in 30 minutes. Bye. And the woman's sitting there thinking, maybe it's not comfortable. I wonder what this is going to look like. I wonder if I said the right things to her, but there's no visit. Women and gentlemen pay for the visit and the attention almost as much as they do for the great hair. Okay. And the third thing, which I think most of us are not guilty of, but I have seen a few people guilty of this, is language. And that means Don't use the word like, well, you are a level 2 and I'm taking you to a 4. They don't need to know that. They need to know, I see that your hair is a rich, deep brown, and we want to keep you brunette, but a little bit of a lighter, warmer brown. Don't use the word overlay with them. Use the word glaze or gloss. Don't use terms like, well, you're just a single or it's just a retouch. That's like going to dinner and saying, well, just because you're having a salad as your main course, we don't really want you here. Get the hell out. So people, number one, it's attention. It's being made feel comfortable, and it's not being given a rush job or being ignored. Now, those are only 3 of the top reasons they leave. And we'll get into later at another time of not getting what they want, which is clear communication. Sometimes I would say in our desire to get started, just get started because I have somebody else coming in 40 minutes, that consultation is either shortened, and instead of sitting down, looking at the client face to face, eye to eye, the way I'm looking at Annie now, I'm not looking at a mirror at Annie, I'm looking at Annie's face. It is so important to speak eye to eye and to then repeat what they said. If they said, I'm afraid of my hair being too dark, and you could say, I understand most people don't want their hair to be too dark. They have to believe that you heard them. Okay. So winding toward winter, we can talk a lot about winding toward winter. And I think the winding toward winter is really kind of the word preparation. Are you getting clients right now prepared for the holidays so the day before Christmas Eve, they don't jump and want something huge when you're packed? Now is the time, as we're winding past Halloween, getting into Thanksgiving, to get them ready. And let's talk about brunette hair first. How's that sound, Annie?
I love brunette hair.
Me too. And somebody was talking to me. Mine's reddish brown, and I have a thing on this morning. But I did my roots. I'm so proud. Today I was in this class and I wanted to look a little bohemian. But I'll tell you what I learned about in class today. And this guy's, of course, European, and he talks about, he said the only place he's ever run across women who are naturally blonde and all levels 7, 8, 9, and 10 is when you're in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Most people in the world are brunette, or we turn brunette as we get older. And the way you can enhance brunette hair several ways. And they're very simple ways. Number one, without terrifying the client, you can what we call spice her up. And that means doing her regrowth with the same exact formula, because we don't want to scare her. Nobody wants hot roots. Do her roots with your same Beauty Fusion or its color formula. And while that formula is processing, you don't even have to take all of the hair, but on each side of the part, pull out a few strands around wherever her part is. If it's a side part, pull around the side. If it's a center part, pull around the center. And you'll have panels of hair that we are going to glaze while that retouch is cooking. And we can use like a caramel brown demi-liquid color. We can use an auburn. We can use, I love 6.34 in Beauty Fusion, as it's a warm, delicious, coppery golden brown or dark blonde, but it isn't that bright. It's soft. We can use to get something very, very dramatic, and a little bit of a richer brown is our new 5.832 in Beauty Fusion, which is a level 5 mahogany, which is a really rich, gorgeous shade. And just touching, I'm talking about mixing 1 ounce of color and 1 ounce of 5 volume developer. And she's got a panel of a little different here, a panel of a little different here, here and here. And no one's going to scream, oh my God, what did you do with your hair? But you and she, when it's being blown dry, are going to see just different myriads of shades on shade there. And when you're taking the hair down and you're going to wash it, I recommend hitting the whole head with water and mushing that whole formula all the way through. Blub, 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 blub. Do that for 3 or 4 minutes, then shampoo and condition her hair. That is a great way to give, look, it's 3 more minutes of attention, but it's a little more interest in the hair. The other way you can, for real chicken clients, to do something really exciting to that brown hair, Artego has color conditioners that I find to be spectacular. And if you've known me for a while, you know I've talking about Celeb, I've talking about Overtone, I've talked about Evo Fabuloso, I've talked about Wella color conditioners. We have a color conditioner in a brand called Artego's Lola, Lola, Lola. I love them. And these conditioners do color the hair, but if the lady doesn't really like it, after 3 or 4 shampoos, it's gone. But we can choose to cool her. She thinks her hair is brassy. We can cool the hair tone with our blueberry or our almond conditioner. If she would like a little more warmth, I think our sun is gorgeous, which is golden, or our coral, or our scarlet. And if she's just really into being a brunette, we have the chocolate. Now, these are only about $8 for a bottle for the back bar. And we have these little packets you can give them for Christmas gifts. After I shampoo them, I leave that Lola on at the sink 5 minutes. You don't have to massage it, just put it on, walk away, say hello to your next client, rinse it out, and she'll, number one, the hair will feel great, and she'll have a little bit of tone, see, you have to make them think they are getting something special. They will think that you did something more. They will think that maybe I should consider making my hair a little more auburn, or maybe my hair could be richer. Maybe it could be more of a dramatic brunette. So those are just a few ways. And another one that I've taught all over the country this year, and I'm going to teach it the week after next, I'm in Indianapolis teaching a private class for one of our dear friends, salon friends. Guys, if you take any of our lighteners, our Artego lighteners, and in an applicator bottle, put an ounce of 5-volume developer and an ounce of water, you've made 2.5-volume developer, which is like nothing. Take the lightener and mix it with this, it's basically water and 5-volume, make a paste. You are going to make something that almost does nothing. And I'd like for you to think of the center of the eyebrow to the corner of the eyebrow. And what we're going to do is put from the center of the eyebrow to the corner, weave, 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 a foil. Weave, 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 a foil. Weave, 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 a foil. And again, on the other side, center of the eyebrow, weave, 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 straight back. Middle of the eyebrow, bump, bump, bump. Center of the eyebrow, bump, bump, bump. Leave it on. You can do this while her retouch is processing. It is true that bleach will penetrate through your retouch. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. We are not giving this woman a frost job. We are making the brown pigment in the hair begin to release a little bit and be less densely packed. In about 7 or 8 minutes, she's going to have these little nothing highlights in her hair. Don't worry, they won't be red, they won't be orange, they won't be blonde. They will be a less intense brunette. And clients have said to me over the years, oh, I just love these soft highlights. Oh, I just love it. It's like it's called the emperor's new clothes. It's like you did almost nothing, but they got a little more attention. And I don't charge them for 6 pieces of foil. I just say, happy holidays, baby, you're going to look great. Usually after Christmas, they want the whole face frame. So, edging people toward something new and delightful is part of the game. Part of the game. We've also been noting that, and I love pastel blonde, but what's happening right now, and I spoke to this guy from Europe, and he sees everything and he teaches all over the world. It's sort of like what I've been seeing in that blondes, many of whom have wanted to be platinum or white or silver, have really enjoyed it, and now they're getting a little tired. Now, unless you have the perfect skin tone and or you wear a lot of makeup, if you have super, super white blonde hair, no matter how good you are as a colorist, after a while, doing a double process every 3 or 4 weeks can weaken the hair. And also, sometimes people get a little bored. I'm not saying to deepen their blonde, because if you deepen the whole head, they'll cry and they'll say my hair is black. You can make their hair light blonde or medium blonde, and they'll say my husband says my hair is black. So integrating and striating, I take my long foil, as you know, I have in class, and I fold it in half. So these are 7-inch wide, 14-inch long foils. I fold them in half so that they're 3.5 inches wide and long. And what I do is, through the body of the head, I just weave little tiny strands. I scatter them and I do them on different angles. And I use Beauty Fusion I love to mix equal parts of 12G and 634, or 60 and 12G, with 5 volume oxy milk. Now, this is tiny bits because all we're going to do is striate. It's almost like you're putting little tiny wisps of deeper tone, not on the face frame, not on the part line, but you're just dashing through a little bit of interest so that when she turns her head, she sees more than one color. So you're actually accenting what she has, working toward winter, working toward a more buttery, butterscotch, sunlit blonde that doesn't make them look so washed out. And again, the eyebrows must be colored. We do not want pale blonde or gray eyebrows. That does not work. And, you know, if someone's going to wear blonde hair or extremely pale blonde hair, if she doesn't wear any lip color or eye color, it just washes her out. So we have to be careful and to talk to them about that. It's really important. So, you know, we're talking about, they're saying go bold. I don't know about going bold. I think the one European group showed really beautifully highlighted hair, and across the front in zigzag pattern, they were wrapping like a really pretty lapis blue into really strong shots. But this is on a very young girl who's wearing rocking a short haircut with darling earrings and great clothes. I think most women would rather you rocked their look with a little bit more ash, a deeper tone, or a cooler, a soft golden, not, or a beige rather than blue. But they're talking about going bolder. And that would mean not having every single hair in the head the same color. That's monochromatic color. Okay, we don't want to do that. Anybody can just do monochromatic, stick it on your roots, wait, and rinse it off at home. If any of you are on my hair colorist page, which is free, my Beth Minardi Conversations with Colors page, you saw me the other day in where was I? Target. Did you see? So I wasn't even looking. I was looking for cat food, really, but I know I can't help it. I always look for skincare, and I look at hair color to see what the prices are. What do I run into, Annie? That new end aisle display for L'Oreal.
I almost died.
Well, I've heard of this. So guys, it's an end aisle display, and it's a dispensary. And at the top, all the level 1s through down, all the level 10s in boxes, just like you and I get in our salons. And then a machine that's $124.99, which to me is $125.
Whoa.
That is their Color Sonic machine that you buy. You load the color in and the developers there. Then they have a woman that I went on YouTube to show you how she does this to herself. The little bristles go, and then it's so, and she goes, and don't worry, just then bring it through, and she's no gloves on, then bring it through your ends. And it's, so then okay, they go away. She goes, now I'm going to let this process and show you how it looks when I'm finished. Right. I bet it looked exactly like that, and nobody stepped in and colored her. Anyway, I do this. What is this trying to tell women? Well, I'll tell you what it's trying to tell them. Why go to a beauty salon when you can do it at home?
Yep.
Well, you know what? Why go to a restaurant when you can cook yourself? Why go to church if you can preach to yourself? Why go to a movie if you can dance around your own living room? I mean, let's face it, folks. There are people who do a nice job at home I'm not going to say the box color is the same as we use at the salons, but they're not able to intermix. They're not able to customize, and nobody can see the back of their head the way they can see the front. And we all look at ourselves differently from the way a salon professional views us. A good salon professional who views us and who sees us in the way we think would be most flattering for you. So Annie, I couldn't believe this machine, and people are trying them, but and some colorists say, I love this machine because it's going to bring me more corrections.
That part's good. Sean just said the colors aren't even accurate from what I see on TikTok.
No, well,
I don't understand why
they don't
anybody,
understand. Right. First of all, if a woman says, "Ooh, medium ash blonde," that sounds good. That's not going to make her hair medium ash blonde.
right.
So it's not that they pick a color that they think is going to look real pretty. And the beautiful women who were at the very top of the display, a fabulous blonde, a redhead, and a brunette, they're not going to look like that. They're really not. So, and I will say, the man who invented hair color is the man who started L'Oreal, Mr. Betancourt. And I believe that so much good has been done by that company. But remember, many of these large companies now are with independent investors, and their job is to sell hair color. And the biggest market for selling hair color is at home.
Public. Right.
But the best market for hair color is us. And I believe those of us who are good at color and great at styling and cutting, and those who really know how, remember, hair color continues to be the axis service in the beauty salon. So if we get them, people are more likely to remain loyal to a colorist than they are to a person who blows their hair out. So if you are the kind, I always keep my clients rolling. I say, well, here's what we did the last time, and I like that. Why don't we continue that, but also give it a little twist? I said, let's do a little twist. Are you up for it? Do you have time? It won't even take me 10 more minutes, and I'll add a few more highlights, or I'll dash in some lowlights, or I'll change their glaze, or I'll do, as I said at the beginning, pull out those strands around the part and just low light or highlight them. It makes all the difference in the world.
I think that would be another reason in your list of why people leave salons is the boredom of never doing anything different, always looking the same.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've had people come to me and I said, oh, I see you've been going to this very well-known salon for a long time. Why are you here? And they'll say, I've been seeing the same person for a long time. And I always thought maybe I should do something different. But because they never brought it up, I thought they didn't think I should. And the other part of it is they just saw me as their 4 o'clock every other Thursday. So they're just going to slap on the same thing. It takes a lot of effort to not get bored. It takes a lot of effort I got up this morning and drove to this class because I wanted input. I wanted to see what I'm doing correctly. I'm thrilled to learn that exactly the way we believe about ammonia and exactly the way we believe about monoethanolamine is the way other companies view it. The term non-ammonia was to get women frightened that ammonia is indeed the best alkalizer for hair color, and MEA has its place. MEA does not keep lifting and then drop off the way ammonia does, because ammonia, it just keeps going. And it'll make vivid colors, it'll make bright colors, but it will not lift like a permanent dye with ammonia, nor will it deposit and be as long lasting as a permanent with ammonia and cover gray. And this man is from the Netherlands. And I asked him, what is the biggest reason women color hair in Europe, in the salon, same as us, to cover gray?
Right.
And I thought, thank God it's not just us. Covering gray and then blonde highlighting. And not so much balayage anymore. People are trying to melt that root, and it's great, but it's been a while now. People are going more and more back to a bit of a more conventional highlighting, but still more around the face, hot shots around the face, a little less in the back. One of the things I want to bring up, though, is as we wind toward winter, The one thing I don't want to see is a blonde walking toward me and a brunette walking away, because no one has put any highlights in the back. I don't believe in this half head bullshit. Sorry to say it that way. You want a half head? Fine, I'm going to do half as many foils in your whole head. Here's why. There is so much hair that's been ignored toward, if you touch your own head, the top of the ear to the back of the ear, the hair that's right above the back of the hair is going to drape down to the back of the head. You can't ignore the back all the time. Now, one of the sexiest things I've ever done with hair on a redhead or a brunette or a blonde is in the back of the head, in the center of the nape. I go to one side of the nape and I start at the nape and I wrap 6 back-to-back foils to make a streak at the bottom of the hair in the back. On a blonde, I can tone it, I can make it white, or I can make it red, or I can make it chocolate, or I can make it a soft, whispery beige blonde. On a redhead, I can make it a lighter red, a darker red, a brown. And on a brunette, I can have a ball. I can make it white. I can make it blonde. I can make it a streak of red. And it's the surprise. You know why? No one sees it unless she flips her hair up. And there are women who are in a certain line of work who like to, create a mystery that way. But anyway, and I digress. But so moving into winding toward winter, I think some people look toward it with dread, and others look toward it with excitement, and others look toward it with a little fear, because if they live in places that are really cold, sometimes it's harder to get out and you have to find your own fun. But life has changed, and with the internet and with people able to drive and drive in snow and still have parties and get-togethers, I think that we're still putting our best face forward and our best color forward. And you know what? If they need some excitement, one of the best places to get a little more enthusiastic about our appearance is in a beauty salon. That's for sure. That's for sure. And there are so many things that have to do with hair color. It's taking a look at a woman's eyebrows. If a woman is very gray or very, very blonde and her eyebrows disappear, that doesn't do her a service. She has to know that, and there's a way to let them know about that.
I have a question on that, Beth, because we sell eyebrow eyelash tint, and we have a lot of people who buy that, and a lot of people just use hair color for eyebrows, not eyelashes. What do you think on?
They should never, ever, 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 ever use regular hair dye for eyelashes. You can
Right.
Do you have the eyelash color with the silver nitrate, the stuff that's for eyelashes and brows?
Yeah, we sell, it's from Universal's the name of the company, I think.
I'd love for you to post that, because my brows are tattooed.
Yeah.
And I still wear I have some that come in gray, so I color my eyebrows with hair color. But I'd love to do my lashes. And for years, in New York, we weren't allowed to do hair color on eyebrows, but everybody did. And you know what to do? Like the salon would say to women, "I'm sorry, we can't do your eyebrows." So she would wait until you went to the back to get coffee and take her finger, put it in her head, and do her own eyebrows. Because no one gray eyebrows. If you look at guys these sexy silver guys, and you look at Harrison Ford, and you look at he's dead now, but Sean Connery, and you look at all these guys and that guy with that big mustache with the gray hair, and he's
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
I love Sam Elliott.
He's cute, yeah. But he doesn't have gray eyebrows. So, gray eyebrows, no, they don't work. They don't work. But so I've talked a little bit about the different shades. And do we have any questions yet?
Yes. Okay. So Robert says, is there a chart that shows what colors in Beauty Fusion are 2 dots versus 3 dots?
All of our charts, absolutely. Every chart, Robert,
you need the swatch book, Robert. That's what
Robert, and I'm coming. If it's Robert Pence, I'm coming to him, and I'll bring
Robert Anthony.
Oh, hi, Robert Anthony. If you'll stay on the line with Annie, or call her, we'll get you a swatch chart. What I've done is remember, if you buy the shades with the 3 dots, they do everything. They are a liquid demi-acidic, they are a demi-plus, and they're a permanent. So the 2 dots are lovely and they work as a demi-plus and as permanent. But as you get started, it's nice to have the 3 dots. On the bottles you have in your dispensary, when you look on the bottles, you'll see the dots. But we need to get you a chart, and we will. Thank you for asking.
Well, I'll throw this out. I know in its color, there's some beautiful fall shades.
There
We
sure
have
are.
there's the 531 and 731, which is gold with a little blue added to it to cool it down, which are gorgeous colors.
Yeah, and I also love our bronze series. Now, people
Yeah.
ask, the bronze say 0.41, which is copper and ash. Okay, but for those of you who've known me for a while and who knew Beth Minardi's signature shades, these, and I put this in my page for colorists, which is my Facebook group page, and on my website. The its color 0.41 shades are the closest thing you will get to my tan shades. They are spectacular. And I love using them alone. And I also use them, and I will mix an ounce of its color 0.41 with an ounce of a red shade at the same or similar level when I am working on high degrees of gray. And instead of just neutralizing that red, it creates the most luscious, vibrant, yet not theatrical, crazy hot root. So mixing its color red or copper gold or copper or red with a 0.41 is just incredible. Also, mixing an Artego N, if you're covering gray and you want to make, and I will tell you, those N's in our color cover gray. If you mix some of the 0.41, an ounce and a half of your N and a half of the 41, you will get a much more interesting, neutral, not warm, but not so cool gray coverage that's just reflective and gorgeous. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. And the other thing that I'm so crazy about with the line is our gold G shades. And if you're taking notes, everybody, a lot of people remember long time ago, Wella Color Touch and Miss Clairol, and even a long time ago, L'Oreal had gold shades of hair dye. Now most everybody has golds that are greenish or golds that are balanced, or they're a little more neutral gold. Our G shades are gold. They are beautiful golden shades. So if you use a 6G on level 3 hair, you're going to get almost an auburn, because the lift plus the gold infused in the hair is absolutely beautiful. And the gold will warm up that natural brown hair. And at the price they are, I have to say, I'm one of our big competitors this week just raised their color to $13 a piece.
Oh,
And Kevin Murphy.
really? From
Here-
11 to 13?
Yeah, now that
Oh.
is what I was told. I didn't go myself. A user called me very
Oh.
upset. And I've been trying to help people. All of you guys know I have my Facebook page, which is free, and many of you are members. I have one called Beth Minardi Hair Color. That's an easy one. But my one for deeper exploration it's free, and you have to be a member. It's called Conversations with Top Color Professionals by Beth Minardi. And people have been asking me for formulas left and right this week. Several people wanted to switch to Beauty Fusion. One lady wanted to switch to its color, and we have people asking about Vieso as well. So, it is possible to get excellent quality without paying the top top price. And I also say this, I have friends who've been using one brand for 30 years. They love it. They're at a point in their life where they just want to get by every day. But then they should stick with what they have. However, if you're buying color that's gone up $2 or $3 per piece, you need to add $2 or $3 to that service, or you're losing money. So if you were charging, let's say, $85 for a retouch, which is not that much, you should start charging 88 or $87, however much that tube's gone up. And you can say, you don't have to say, well, guess what? It went up $3. No, you can say, due to the price of our being able to purchase quality products, we have to pass the costs along to our clients. That's all. So you can stay with what you have. And I'm not like a lot of other people. I believe in waiting before I dive in the deep end. So what I've been doing with people is telling them, try these Beth Minardi Never Fail formulas in Beauty Fusion or in its color. And they're really happy because I say, no, just try these and I'll give you these formulas. After you like these, then you're using these, then we'll branch out, then we'll branch out, and you'll branch out. And yes, we do have a buyback and all that kind of, but that would be something you'd speak to Annie and Alan about. But I'm a colorist too. And I've been forced recently to adopt and learn yet another new line of color that I've never used before. And I'm lucky because I've done this many, many times in my life, and I've done some swatches, and then I've done little panels in the back of clients. But I think what you need to understand is Annie and I and Gretchen and Dustin and the other educators are really here to help you. And my phone is open to you all the time, as is Annie's, to say, okay, I want to get started. Because if you live in Ohio and you're doing mostly brunette ladies, maybe your opening package is different from the woman who's living in Atlanta and is doing mostly blondes, right? So opening orders, while a manufacturer might think, oh, well, this is a good opening order. I mean, we've given them a little trot around the whole line. Maybe you never do a burgundy person, or maybe you rarely do a very, very dark brunette, or maybe you don't do a lot of pastel blondes. Some people do. So, it's geographical, and it's also personal. It's your neighborhood. It's your community,
And we do let them choose what colors they want in an intro deal. And
Yeah,
developers usually.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great.
All right, Sean has a comment. He says, love the bronzes. Since you posted about it on Facebook, I've been incorporating them in my clients who want caramel without being super warm.
You got it. I think that the 0.41s are beautiful caramel. They are just gorgeous. Thank you.
And another nice one is the 0.7 ones.
Yes.
Both Beauty Fusion and Color has 0.7s. We call them the chocolates.
Our chocolates are great.
Yeah. And they have the 6-7 ones. They took those, which are more violet based, and added some blue to it to just calm them down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, they're a cooler, nice, pretty fall color too, but you still have some warmth underneath.
They're really pretty. In fact, Gretchen, one of our top educators, uses a lot of the chocolate shades, and I love them too, especially 7 chocolate. I intermix that a lot, and I use it straight. And it also makes a really nice low light if somebody's a deep blonde. Really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty.
Yes.
So, and it's really nice to hear people reaching out with the shades. And I do know that the NAs are natural ashes are indeed one, because not only are they neutral in its color, as they lift, they are also counterbalancing unwanted brassiness. So if somebody is gray, and she's also one that, they go on and on and on. I don't want to see any red in my hair. I don't want to see. Okay, they can't see any red if we use an NA. And remember, guys, if I put a turkey in the oven and I only leave it in 30 minutes, it's not the turkey's fault, it's my fault. Please do not under-process color. When you have a new client and she has thick, coarse, dense hair, Don't think, oh, I'll put it on 25 or 30 minutes and I'll get her out of here. No, 45 minutes at room temperature. Equal parts 20 volume and the color. And with our double ends, I've never been able to say this before, our 10 double ends will cover gray on a blonde client because those ends are so rich. But 20 volume, 45 minutes. Now, if you're using our Beauty Fusion, as you used to use Shades EQ, which the company said you could put them under heat and leave it on 30 minutes, Beauty Fusion is finished quickly at the sink as a toner or as a glaze to refine faded hair. In the more porous the hair, they can be on only 5 to 15 minutes. That's it, with no heat, and they're wonderful. And you know what? As I always said, and we said it in class this morning, I have never yet met a woman who said my hair is too shiny. I don't want. When you tell them, you know what, we can really bring up the shine. That's super important. And both of our color lines are pretty darn wonderful. They do. And I'm not, all my life I've gotten in trouble because if I don't like something, I'm pretty honest. And you've seen me on a stage say, I don't use it, I don't like it. But I feel we have a very special line that's totally intermixable, that's at a very, very, very competitive price. And I mean, a 5.1 ounce tube instead of a 2 ounce tube, and the price is amazing. And with Beauty Fusion, if someone, Beauty Fusion is biodegradable and mostly natural. And for myself, the reason I got so excited about Beauty Fusion is the rash that I've had for years, taking Benadryl and drinking water and everything, and then getting a rash using my own brand. I realized I'm allergic to MEA. I am very sensitive to MEA, but also PPD is people are sensitive to. And Beauty Fusion contains no MEA, no PPD, no added alcohols. And, even the packaging is biodegradable. So earth consciousness being, I think, for most of us, and I see this, I believe that for most retouches, you do not need 2 ounces of color and 2 ounces of developer. That's 4 ounces. Unless somebody has a regrowth that's this big or hair that's so thick it's like a wool parade. Most retouches are 1 ounce of color and 1 ounce of developer. I was a salon owner, and my husband and I owned a salon in New York City. And to see bottles thrown in the sink that were half loaded with bleach or with color got me really upset. And so I said, okay, we're going to mix 1 ounce and 1 ounce from now on. And after the bitching stopped, people started getting, you know what, it's all I really needed. It's all I really needed. And so those are just some of the tips. And remember, so yes, we can. Somebody said to me, Beth, I'm so upset. I got my It's Color and I don't have the developer yet. What do I have to wait? And I said, I would hope the developer's on its way. But if you have cream developer and you're waiting for the rest of your Artego order, please go ahead and use the cream developer. And it worked out fine. The sun still came up the next morning. The earth still went around and everyone was happy. And of course, dedicated developers are important, and ours do contain squalene, which is a wonderful moisturizer. And moisturizing the hair as we color it is one of the nicest things we can do. So I want to hear if anybody on there, especially Robert, I'd like to know, when in the majority of his clients, are they mostly brunette? Are you doing a lot of spicy redhead? What's up?
Cast on mute.
Oh, he's muted. Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
There you go.
hi, Robert.
Hi. So I have a mix of younger clients who tend to be highlights, mostly highlights.
Good.
I did use a recommendation that you gave about Artego level 10s. And normally I would have used like a Color Fusion 10. I wanted to cool it down, so I think I did 12 AB, 10 AB, and then I used a high lift tint. But I used the high lift tint because I didn't.
You mean you did? I'm sorry. Did you do her roots with the high lift tint?
No, I just did highlights.
Okay, highlights.
So I alternated two colors, a high lift and then a level 10.
Mhm.
And I liked the results. So I was very happy about that. But most of my clients split down the middle pretty much between gray coverage. So, 50, 45 and above, and
Yeah.
then a lot of highlights mostly. And the
Mhm.
brunettes, I'd say most of them are, between 4 and 6 that are
Yeah.
gray coverage.
Very common, very normal.
Right. Well, because our colors are very pigment rich, I think if you're looking for a level 4, use a level 5. The 6s and 7s in our line, to me, create beautiful light brownettes. And when you look at the way European color companies say, you'll look at a swatch and say that that's an American level 4. And it's like Goldwell. You look at the swatch and you say that's a 4, and Goldwell would say, no, that's a 6. Okay, that's the way you see it. And so, you were in my class the other day, weren't you?
Yes,
I just loved seeing you. I was so sorry that you left early, but I mean, I knew you had to get to the airport. So you're back in California?
I am. Yes.
I knew it had to
Looks
be
awfully pretty back there.
background.
Well, that's my screensaver. That's where I'd like to be.
Oh, I need that. This is not my screensaver. This is like my house. But
Me too.
I need a screen. Yeah, I need one of those things too.
I'll
Yeah.
send you one.
Anyway, it was a pleasure having you in class, and I think we had a good day.
It was great. I enjoyed it a lot and wished I could have stayed a little later as well, because I had more questions, and I've been keeping a list of all colors that I'm using,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep a list of the bottles so that when I want to place my opening order, I can use those as reference for
It's a great guideline.
and
Yeah.
that way I'll have, I can have the security of having what I used to have and then compare it to what to whether or not how I order the new order. I think part of it is knowing the difference between Beauty Fusion and its color, because some of the chocolate colors, like for example, I see they're in Beauty Fusion and they do uh, have the permanent option with the additional let's see, number 1 or number 2. But I'm curious, when you do choose its color versus Beauty Fusion, like what kind of thoughts do you?
Here's my thought. Here's what I think. Number 1, if I want super high lift in a single process, super high lift, I will tell you to use its color. And I think you might have been on when I used a color that we make in its color, and the number is 13, level 13 NA. Not only does it lift, I mean, it makes somebody who's brunette, like if she has like level 6 hair or level 5, 6 hair, and you leave it on a full hour and you take tiny sections and leave it with double 40 volume, honey, that hair looks like you pre-bleached it. Of course, I use Beauty Fusion for all my glazes and all my lowlights. When I low light it, I use 5 volume developer, and I add a bit of the booster to it to make it like you're turning it into a color touch, because you're making it a slightly alkaline demi. And I've started using its color on my gray. For a long time, I was using Beauty Fusion on my gray, and it covered great. It covered great. So it's a client. If I have a client who has texture has so much more to do with color than we talk about. If we have clients with thick, dense, coarse hair, because its color contains both ammonia and MEA, you are assured coverage. If you have a client who has medium to less coarse, dense hair, and she's modern and she wants beautiful gray coverage, but she's okay with some of the hair looking a half level lighter than the other, that's a Beauty Fusion girl. And I'll take you back. When I made Logics, we made it so that, okay, let's suppose a woman was level 2, dark brown, and we use a level 4 on her. The final level would be a 3, but the white hair would cover up to exactly a 3, and the dark brown hair would go a little darker. So it was perfectly covered, but there was a myriad of tone. There were ladies who would say, oh, it didn't cover. In the name of God, okay. Anyway, they wanted to use Colestone Perfect. Why? Because it is book.
Yeah.
It is opaque. So for the opaque lover, you got to use its color. But in the its color shades that are the bronzes, the coppers, the warm, the fun ones, you know, they're just beautiful, but they are a little more opaque. So, you know, for all my no lift and for my low lighting, I would stick with Beauty Fusion. For my people who want modern gray coverage and don't care that every single hair is the same color, Beauty Fusion. But for those who want very complete or absolute perfect high lift, the highest possible lift, because remember, you're working with both MEA and ammonia, or for very opaque, permanent color where the woman who might be on a budget says, I want that hair all the way covered at that root, it's color. Does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. And you know, Robert, you call me anytime. You know that. You have my phone number. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and everything, and stay in touch. You were a blast to have in class. I loved it. He came all the way from California to
San
Annapolis.
Francisco, right?
Yeah. How
I
about?
remember. I talked to him. I remember.
Yeah, and we had people from Pittsburgh. I mean, no, from New York City and from Tampa. So, you know, we're looking at places to go on the road. And my dear friend in Boston, Buddy Dudley, has already said, use my salon and we can fit 50 people in there. So, yeah, things are coming up.
Good. All right,
Yeah.
so Joseph says, this is not a question, I think this is a comment. I have a
Okay.
mix of blondes, reds, and brunettes. My highlights vary from a glaze after highs to blend gray and tone to a one step with highs and lows for dimension.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I always believed in this. I would put the color on the root, and while the root was cooking, I would do my foil with my highs and lows. There are other people who put the foil in first, and then they lift every foil up and go in between and try to, oh God, oh my. Okay, if that works for you, may God be with you. Trying to pick a foil up and squeeze in between, and then in the name of God, listen, that's because somebody told them that it bleed. Okay, if I have brown color on the root, and Annie, you know this, and I'm using powder and 20 for my highlights. If you think that that powder and 20 isn't going to go through that brown dye, come on. So somebody told people, oh, you can't do that. Well, that's because the teacher telling you to do that never colored hair. Sorry. Okay. I just, why would I try? It's so difficult to manually try to lift that foil and squirt in between. But I know that the person who asked is not doing that. So she's doing highs and lows and then glazing them with Beauty Fusion, or she's doing a retouch with either Beauty Fusion or its color. And then she's doing ta-da, some highlights.
All right. I was going to see if I get Roseanne to respond to Robert's question too, because she uses its color, you up to Beauty Fusion, everything. To see when she did it differently. Rosanna, can you unmute and answer? Is she still there? She might just be listening.
Oh,
And
I'm
working.
here. I am muted.
Hi, Roseanne.
Hi, how are you?
Roseanne, where are you? Where do you live?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Remember you helped me out at the show? When
Yes.
I made my
Okay.
hair
Hey, babe.
gray.
So tell me, how are things going for you?
So far, so good.
Good.
I just sent Annie a picture of a mother and daughter that the mother I use Beauty Fusion on and to do her retouch on her gray. And then the daughter I just use its color on, but it's incredible how it matches.
Yeah, you know,
How the mother and daughter barely look different.
I would, you know, maybe Annie will post the picture. I got a picture I posted the other day you guys might like. If you go on my my Beth Minardi Facebook group, which is the Conversations with Top Color Professionals by Beth Minardi. I know it's a long name. Gretchen, who works with me and who was just with me at you met Gretchen, I think, in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, listen to this. Woman comes in, she's got like level 3 or 4 roots. She has a frost job that was taken to beyond white and some yellow frost jobby things. And she also had a Brazilian relaxer.
Oh,
And so now here's what Gretchen used, like on her root, she used Beauty Fusion 7 chocolate with 20 volume, right in a booster, just to bring that level 3 hair to about a 5. And while that process, she put our Rain Dance hydrating all over the ends, and then, rinsed that off, shampooed it, and dried it. She then only low lit the hair with Beauty Fusion, because I mean, this woman had a frost job. You know what I'm saying? That hair, when you take a look at the photo on my group page, is so spectacular. And I hope that Annie can post to ask Nicholas to post it.
I'm trying to do it right now for her. I'm
Okay.
trying. Keep talking.
Okay, Annie's going on her phone because Gretchen got a split screen, and you see the lady when she came in. And, I mean, nice, pretty woman with like hair below the shoulders, dark roots, big frost womper stripes, white with some yellow. And then of course, Gretchen's thinking, and the lady said, look, I like my blonde, but this is too much and my hair feels lousy. So, she did lighten the root a bit. And while she was lightening the root, she protected the ends with our hydrating mask. And then she dried the hair carefully and did a beautiful low lighting on it. On my page, my Beth Minardi, my conversations with Beth Minardi, conversations with top colorists, I do a lot of pictures of people who are our members and things I've done. And, it really is helpful. Are you getting there, Annie?
I sent it to
I'm
her.
not sure this is working
sent
well,
it to
you
her.
guys.
You
Yeah, I
sent it
just
to
sent
her.
her the
I
picture.
have to do each one separately because I'm so techy. But
I just sent you the one
it's
from
all
Beth's page.
on. I'm putting it on Article_USA
Thank you.
official. That's the Facebook.
Thank you. And
Or she sends me something else. Hang on.
No, that's Beth's picture. That's from Gretchen.
that's your picture, Roseanne, right?
No, mine was the first one. I just sent the one off of your page right now.
Oh, thank you.
Gretchen did.
Well, Roseanne, you know what? I'm going to be in Indianapolis, but I hope to come back to Chicago next year. And you can contact me or Annie anytime on the phone or on Facebook or on Beth Minardi at Gmail.
Definitely. When are you going to Indianapolis?
I'm going to Indianapolis on the 28th, the last Monday of this month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, people don't really want to have classes in November, December because they're booked. So I'm going to start back up. But if another lady in Chicago wants me to come, and if I can arrange that, we'll push. I always announce things on the Artego site and on my Facebook. So, I'd love to see you again.
Yes, definitely. That would be great. My younger cousin lives in Indy.
Oh, good.
So I wonder if
she's interested, you go to Beth Minardi at Gmail.
Yes.
Tell her to send me an email. Okay.
Yeah, she's finally natural again, but she's been every color.
Hey, does she want to be a
And
model? I need
I know
3
that's what I
models.
was going to ask her because she'd be
I need 3 models.
she's so cute. I'll send you
Oh,
her picture.
Yeah,
Let me
and
find it.
because I love when when you get pretty models. I had a little girl the
Yes.
other day in Annapolis. She had virgin. Are you ready for this? Virgin brown hair to her shoulders. And I made her a redhead, and I showed a darker, cooler red simultaneously on the root, while the lighter, warmer red on the ends, and she came out even because the hair close to the scalp wants to be red because it's the heat of the scalp, and the hair on the hair length is less inclined to go red. She looked so pretty, but she was also such a cute girl. It was just a blast to work with her.
Yeah, she has virgin hair right now.
Oh, I
I
want
know.
her.
Here,
Okay, tell her to email me at bethminardi@gmail.
I'm going to try to find this picture that she posted this morning from this weekend. And then I'll call her.
Okay. Well, after today, Annie and I have one more Zoom session this year in November. And then I guess we'll get it all cranked up again, huh, Annie?
Yes, we will.
And it's nice. These things do go on YouTube. I was invited to do a YouTube about the beauty of our business. And I mentioned how special Artego is. It's on YouTube and on Spotify. And the name of the, it's a podcast for hairdressers. The name of it is called Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. And they interviewed me, and they just interviewed Stephen Moody, and they really do ask very good questions. So, you know, there's a lot of inspiration out there for us. We just got to keep looking for it, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Roseanne, send me pictures.
Yes, thank you.
And
She,
I love you all. Listen, everybody, keep dreaming big and always dream in color. And stay tuned,
Like
'cause
that.
we're here, everybody. Okay.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.